All right, folks, welcome to my channel. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at the basic introduction of HTML. Why should we learn HTML? Okay, in today's age, people spend way too much time on the internet. So knowing to create or otherwise manage a website isn't a bad thing to know. So firstly, what is HTML? HTML is an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language. So hypertext means that the document contains links that can allow a reader to jump to other places in the document or another document altogether. So let's look at what the markup language means. So we say the markup language is a way that computers, speak to each other to control how text is processed and how presented. Okay. So some of you might ask, what is the history of HTML? How was HTML invented? Who brought HTML? So let's dive into a little history of HTML. So HTML was invented from a prototype written by a man named Tim Berners-Lee in 1991. So that's approximately about 28 years ago. So HTML is based on the HTML, the standard general language. So for now, HTML have about 6 basic versions, and the latest version of HTML now is the 5. HTML5 is the latest version of HTML. The first version was just HTML, that was 1991. The next one was HTML 2.0, and that was in 1995. The next one was HTML 3.2, and that was in 1997. And then was HTML 4.1, which was 1999. And the next one was XHTML, and that was in the early 2000s. And the latest one is HTML5, which was introduced in 2012 up to now. So to begin using HTML, you firstly need a modern web browser like the Google Chrome or the Safari or the Opera Mini or whatsoever. You also need a text editing tool like the Visual Studio Code. So after we have gotten everything set, the first thing we'll need is to open a file that will hold our documents related to our web browser. So you firstly go to open folder, and I will place my own folder on my desktop. I will name my folder website, and you select folder. Yeah, there we go. So we are now in our website folder. So okay, I'm going to create a new file. So I will name this new file index.html. So now what we're going to do is to fill in our HTML file. So at the top, what we are going to do is firstly add a set of angle brackets. Then you type this type HTML. Then next we'll create a pair of HTML tags. So we will need an opening HTML tag and a closing HTML tag. So these pair of HTML tags, they represent the root elements of an HTML page. So between these two tags, we will add a pair of header tags. The header element contains information about your web page, such as the title. So the next thing we're going to add between there is the title tag. Don't forget that you need an opening and a closing tag. So I'm going to set my title as my first website. So the next thing we're going to need is the body tag. The body element that contains visible element on your web page. So in the body tag, you can add other information, like if you want to add heading. So we have the H1 tag, H2 tag, H3, H4, H5, and the H1 is the largest size of the text size. So I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to save, and that should update my HTML web page automatically. So there is an H1 heading. So let's try an H2 heading so you can see what I was talking about. So I'm just going to copy and paste it to the next place. This is an H2 heading. So I think you can see the sizes of the writing there. The H2 is smaller. So let's try the H3. We'll put an H3 tag. And I think as you can see, the writing sizes are getting smaller. Let's try H4 and see what we're talking about. Then we have H5. So basically, the header tag is used for titles or other large text on the web page. So there is another thing. It's called the paragraph tag. So let's discuss the paragraph tag. So if you have a a paragraph of text that you want to add to your web page, you can firstly add the p tags, the opening and closing tags. For example, let me just say some text goes here. So if you are using VS Code, if you don't have a paragraph, if you just want to practice and you want to put some random text, you can just type in lorem, LREM, and press tab on your keyboard, and automatically some random text will be generated for you. So we are going to take a break, guys, and we'll be right back. So let's just look at a short summary after looking at a little tutorial and little history of HTML. So first of all, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, which is a language that is widely used for web pages development. And HTML was created from a prototype written by Tim Berners-Lee in late 1991. So one thing we should get to the back of our mind is that HTML is a must for students and web professionals or wishing to be a great software engineer and web developers. So thank you, guys. Keep following for more. Click the subscribe link below and share. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching.